Having the right traffic made aware of your offer will explode your sales and take your business to the next level. If you're watching this, you're probably a business owner, and I'm almost certain you don't have a value problem. You'll be sitting on a mountain of experience and IP. But I expect you're concerned that not enough of your target ICP, ideal customer profile, know who you are, how you can help them, and what your offer actually is. Positioning your offer to the right niche increases its impact and value tenfold, meaning you serve your customers more effectively while charging more, working with fewer clients, and over time having clients competing to work with you. If we haven't met, I'm Dec. I run an AI services agency, and I previously worked on AI MarTech consulting projects at Google, OpenAI, and Zoom at one of the UK's leading startups. And I'm ex-Salesforce Marketing Cloud and IBM. So we're going to start by talking about what a lead actually is. All a lead is a signal of interest in your offer in some shape or form. A cold lead has maybe sent you a DM on social media or has been through one of your funnels a little while ago, whereas a hot lead actively says they're shopping around for a service or solution like yours. When trying to find high quality traffic for my products or offers, I like to try and work out where my target ICP hang out online and then provide lots of value to them there. You see, a lot of the business owners I've been speaking with whilst working on EngageWave OS, an AI-powered system that turns your cold middle-of-funnel leads into hot buyers through value-focused conversation experiences, think they have a lead generation problem, when they're actually sitting on thousands of dormant middle-of-funnel leads already. The AI-powered system I've been working on turns these prospects into hot buyers through value-focused conversation experiences, getting the right message to the right person on the right platform at the right time. If you're interested in finding out more about this, or in having me build an AI-powered asset for your business that amplifies your impact, you can get in touch using the links below. Of course, I can't make a shameless plug like that without delivering lots of value. So let's talk through the best methods to generate higher quality traffic to your offer. If you're an expert in your industry, see if you can find a way of getting onto people's podcasts and helping their audience. At the end of the podcast, you'll be asked where their audience can go to find out more about you. You want to make sure that you have a lead magnet set up on your landing page or wherever it is that you're sending the traffic, so you can offer something that's valuable to your target ICP and capture their information whilst continuing the relationship and ultimately serving those people as well. Now, obviously getting on big shows like Diary of a CEO or Joe Rogan would be incredible because I think they have about 1 million people that listen to each episode. But unless you're already really established and have some kind of brand behind you or a lot of followers, I imagine you need to probably work your way up to be invited on these major podcasts. So if you haven't got a large enough following to get onto Diary of a CEO or Joe Rogan, the question you're probably asking yourself is it worth the investment of time to go onto the smaller podcasts? Well, after doing a lot of research, the answer is a resounding yes. Market Data Forecast Group currently predicts that there are 464 million podcast listeners, and this will grow to 560 million in 2025. The average podcast listener spends 7 hours a week listening to podcasts, which is a lot more than I anticipated. If you're struggling to get onto podcasts, I can relate. But a good tip that somebody told me that I want to share with you guys that really helped me out is creating a one-pager in Canva that has a headshot, bio, info about any previous appearances, awards that you've won, potential discussion topics, and any badges or accolades that you have. It's really simple and less than 100 words, and I think it just kind of helps show that you're professional and you're showing up and you mean business. Now, I'm not alone in seeing the immense value of podcasts. Russell Brunson, the infamous digital and online marketer, in his book Traffic Secrets, spoke about what he called the Dream 100 process. His methodology is that you think through exactly who your target avatar is, the transformation they're looking for, and any questions that they have. Are they moving away from pain? For example, I don't know, maybe they're fed up of feeling overweight and ashamed of looking in the mirror, and so that's motivating them. Or are they moving towards pleasure? For example, they like the idea of having six-pack abs and the challenge that it represents, and want to feel great. Next, he says you should build an effective landing page to collect contact details. I mean, he would say that, of course, because he's got his own software that does that. And then he talks around building a Dream 100 list. That's a list of 100 places where that dream avatar that you've thought through congregate. And then you look for ways of infiltrating and providing value as a means of building relationships. Now, I can make a whole video series about Russell Brunson's Dream 100 methodology. But in short, don't sleep on podcasts. If you go on one, you'll have someone asking you the questions that you've already discussed and that you know the answers to. And so it's a really good strategy for building authority within your chosen niche. Now, the second methodology for us to talk through is private dining. Now, this one isn't particularly scalable, but I found when you get the right 10 to 15 people sitting in a room, preferably one of those circular tables where everyone can interact and talk, and you give an amazing dining experience, amazing things can happen. Now, I used to do this a lot when I was working at Salesforce Marketing Cloud. I quite often get 10 to 15 people together in a private room at a restaurant called Sushi Samba, which is quite a nice, glamorous sushi restaurant. I'd facilitate discussion, we'd all have lots of wine, and I found quite regularly we'd end up launching initiatives that generated the company millions of pounds. Now, coming back to the digital world, the third opportunity we're going to talk through is community guest spots. So with this methodology, you approach community site owners, course creators, and premium membership sites. Basically, if we come back to Russell Brunson's Dream 100 list, anywhere where we know that our target avatar would hang out, you want to approach those communities and ask if you can contribute to their audience. Maybe you want to deliver a workshop on how to do something, or provide a presentation that takes them on a transformational state from where they are to where they want to be. The crucial thing here, of course, is to make sure that the communities that you select are full of your ideal clients. See, I find typically people who are part of communities have a bias towards action. Otherwise, they wouldn't be an active member of one. And the fact that they're paying to be a member, sometimes 50, 100, or even £500 a month, and you're invited to speak to them, instantly positions you as an expert in their eyes. You could do Q&As, masterclasses, critiques, workshops, case studies, or coaching. But whatever it is that you do, you obviously need to make sure that it's of incredibly high value and useful to that community. So what you've got to do is reach out to the people who own or manage the community and say something along the lines of, I noticed you have a community, I'd love to offer some free guidance or workshop or Q&A or critique or whatever it is you want to do. I've done it over here, and I could do something similar for you. Do you think this would be of value to your community? Of course, framing it that way gives them the option to say no, they don't think what you've put together or your suggestion would work for their community, but they're not rejecting you. And that way that you could then have a more of a discussion and find something that is of value to that community. But like I say, you only want to do this if what you're doing is of high value and genuinely useful to that community. Something that really annoys me about School as a platform, if I'm honest, is that it's been gamified to encourage everyone to kind of work their way up the leaderboard and kind of actually build authority within the community. And then the people at the top, as soon as you actually start interacting with them all, they'll maybe kind of send one or two very light surface level messages and then hit you with some kind of product pitch, which for me debunks the whole platform. And actually, I find that it's a big time suck and you're not getting as much value out of it as what you could do. But that's my experience. Don't know whether you guys have found the same, but I find other communities outside of school tend to be of higher value. Okay, the next method we're going to talk through is long form content, which incidentally is what this piece of content that you're watching is now. So with content, the first thing you need to think through is, are you doing this for fame or fortune? Fame is typically where you jump on viral trends, whereas fortune is where you need to focus on a specific avatar that you're serving with high value content. I reckon I could create a whole video series or write several books about growing your presence online. And if I ever did do that, one of the first stories I would tell would be that of the first YouTube channel that I created in 2016, 2017 called Headspread. It was a reaction channel that saw what British people make of Indian culture. I pulled over family, friends, people that I knew, sat them down and got them to watch and give a reaction to a Bollywood film trailer, and then I'd ask them a few questions about it and get them to discuss it at the end. When I was working on Headspread, I found for whatever reason, whenever I chose an Indian or Bollywood film trailer or some kind of piece of Indian culture, the views and the numbers skyrocketed and I got a lot more subscribers that way. So excited by the numbers and the growth, I decided to pivot and focus purely on Indian culture. And over time, I was working really hard and those numbers kind of grew and grew and grew. And if you look at the channel today, it's had over 15 million views. But here's the thing, despite switching on AdSense and having adverts running in front of all of the videos, also running Amazon affiliate links to try and do affiliate marketing, and creating my own branded t-shirts that I would then try and promote and sell on the channel, I earned less than £500 from 15 million views and about 2 years of side hustle. You see, no matter how hard I tried, it was really difficult to monetize the predominantly Indian and Pakistani community that I was building. And after 2 years and working on it as a side hustle, I had to call it a day and just call it quits because it wasn't a viable business for me. I was working full-time at IBM, working in cognitive solutions and AI, and that was a much more viable thing for me to put my time into than this growing community that I built If you fast forward to today and compare it to this channel I'm working on, which as of time of recording has had less than 60,000 views, I've earned substantially more. And that's because I'm creating content which isn't designed for views, but instead tries to be hyper-focused on my target avatar and serving them as much as possible so that I can build relationships digitally and then hopefully promote my AI services that I'm offering, built upon the experience I've developed from working at IBM, Salesforce, and all the different AI consulting projects I've done as my full-time gig. If you're creating long-form content, for example on YouTube, like this video, the packaging is really important. You want to try and open up a sense of curiosity in the target avatar and ensure that you show the transformation the viewer will experience in your title and thumbnail from watching your content. I used to work at Salesforce Marketing Cloud, which for anyone that doesn't know, provides lots of different marketing software to large enterprise organizations. If I was managing their content strategy and needed to create some evergreen content that doesn't follow trends, then I'd think about creating content that follows the following formula. Biggest mistakes companies make when implementing new marketing software. 8 top tips on how to generate more leads effectively. Common myths about account-based marketing. 7 benefits of outbound email campaigns for account-based marketing. 5 problems with outbound email campaigns. And of course, links to your offer can be really powerful. The more focused your content is on appealing to your high-quality avatar, the better. But you can also ask qualifying questions to ensure the prospects you invest time into speaking with in strategy sessions or sales calls or whatever it is that you want them to do are the right ones you're most excited about serving and working with. When people consume your long-form content, people start to see you as an expert in your field. And over time, you generate more high-quality traffic ready to purchase and buy from you. The 5th method for us to talk through is direct messages. Now, sometimes this topic scares people, but they're still very effective when done right. Direct messaging is, of course, when you reach out to someone one-to-one. Now, the benefit of this method is that it can be pretty quick, and it's a good way to generate leads and conversations. See, a mistake I've fallen into in the past is putting out lots of content when it isn't actually clear what I do. For example, I was creating lots of content on Instagram about hints, tips, and tricks for using AI. But when getting feedback from people who had seen it, turned out that not that many people actually knew or understood the services that I offered. As soon as I started messaging people in the DMs, outlining my offer and what I did, they started to have a much clearer idea of what I could do to serve them. Generative AI has of course created a new opportunity to automate the outreach process and provides personalized messaging at scale. The technology is evolving all of the time, but I've been looking at systems that scrape people's addresses or office locations and then pull in information around local restaurants and all sorts of really clever and personalized details. If you'd like to find out more, feel free to reach out and I'll share what I know in the latest. But what I do want to say here is yes, the technology is getting better and evolving all of the time, but no matter what's powering it, the most important thing to remember when it comes to cold outreach is that people buy from people. One of the biggest mistakes I see when being sent cold DMs, whether AI generated or not, is people that go straight in for the kill and present an offer. You're basically turning up uninvited and trying to sell somebody something. It's even worse when I see people trying to use some tribe psychological trick. It's much better when you focus on offering value and building a genuine relationship with somebody. The next method for us to talk through is lead magnet exchange. If you have a solid user base, this one can be really effective. You don't often hear about it because people in the know seem to want to keep it to themselves or behind gated walls. You can reach out to a content creator or brand or someone that has a newsletter in a similar niche to yours and offer to promote their valuable lead magnet to your audience in exchange for them doing the same for you. Of course, it all depends on the audience and ICP that you're targeting, but if you get the right fit, it can be a brilliant source of high quality traffic. The way I like to think of it is, when you see those deals where you can go to a restaurant before then going to the cinema or a restaurant before the theatre, that's a pretty good deal, because it isn't an area of conflict and they're actually complementing each other. For example, coming back to when I was working at Salesforce Marketing Cloud, one of my biggest clients that I worked with and sold to was the BBC. I could have partnered with Google Cloud, for example, to exchange lead magnets. We both have a similar standing and reputation within the industry, but we wouldn't have competed when trying to work with or sell to the BBC. Next, we've got contests and competitions. Now, these can be really effective. Depending on who you listen to, a typical conversion rate on a landing page should be between 20 and 40%. But running competitions has led to as high a conversion rate as 80% on landing pages. And you should only do a prize draw which is super relevant to your target market and target ICP. You don't want to give away an iPhone, for example, because you'll get lots of people enter that don't fit your criteria. And obviously, hopefully it goes without saying, but you must always honor whatever the prize is and actually give it away to somebody. If you want to know how AI is being used by businesses today to generate more sales, watch my video here. Thanks, and I'll see you there. Peace!